In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Xamarin on a Windows and a Mac machine. I'm going to start off by setting up on Windows, and then I will get to Mac. Whether you're a Windows or a Mac user, be sure to watch this video thoroughly. So if you're a Windows user, you probably have Visual Studio. So you can install Xamarin, and that will install all the required SDKs as well as project templates in Visual Studio. So simply head over to xamarin.com/download. Fill out this form and be sure to set the answer of this question, I already have Visual Studio installed, to yes. So you don't get Visual Studio. You only get Xamarin Installer. Once you run it, you're going to see a dialog box like this. Be sure to select the following items under cross-platform mobile development. So the latest version of C#/.NET Xamarin. So you see I've currently installed version 4.0.3, but there is a newer version, so I'm going to tick that. And then under Common Tools and Software Development Kits, select Android Native Development Kit. You see I've installed both the 32-bit and 64-bit versions. You also need to install Android SDK, and then you need to install at least one of Android SDK setups. The difference between these items are their version number. So you see the first item is API level 19 and 21, and the last one is API level 23. You can go for the last version, or if you have enough space on your machine, you can install all of them. Apache Ant is not really necessary, but I have installed it anyway. And finally, you need to select Java SE Development Kit. Now, if you have a typical machine and are not part of a network with a proxy server, this installation process goes very smoothly. But it may fail if you're behind a proxy server or if you're running Windows in a virtual machine on a Mac. This happens mainly because Xamarin Installer cannot download some of the required resources. So at this point, you need to manually install some of these components. I've attached a PDF to this lecture with more details about manual installation. So hopefully you won't have any problems during the installation, but if you encounter any issues, you really need to troubleshoot them yourself, because every machine is different in terms of the hardware and software, and I really cannot help you with that. So just Google the exact error message you get, and you will definitely find a solution. I just want to emphasize, do not get discouraged if you get any errors. You only need to spend a bit of time to troubleshoot these issues, and then everything is going to be fine. Also, it would be really helpful if you post the errors you get and the solutions you find in the discussion board, because I can get all these various errors and compile them into a PDF, and that would be a very valuable resource for future students of this course. Now, what if you're a Mac user? You have two options. You can either use Xamarin Studio on a Mac, which is a lightweight IDE similar to Visual Studio, or you can use Visual Studio, but this requires a Windows machine. In my setup, I'm running Windows as a virtual machine using VMware. Which option is better? Xamarin Studio is the fastest option. You simply head over to xamarin.com/download and get Xamarin Studio, and you're good to go. You can build apps for iOS and Android, but not for Windows. If you want to target Windows, you need a Windows machine, so you can either get a physical machine or use a virtual machine like me. Then you need to follow the same steps to install Xamarin on your Windows machine.